Good morning for a very rainy UK this morning. Today, I hope you're doing well after a weekend spent with your family and also doing some cool stuff. I'm going to be discussing with you the top 10 habits of high performance dads. This is the High Impact Dad Show. I'm your host, Joe Horton. Let's go. So, in the last few months, I've had the privilege of speaking to a number of different dads and men on the Guild of Dads podcast, which gives me a unique privilege and insight into the minds of these men and how they operate on a daily, weekly and monthly basis. And what I notice when I'm talking to these men are patterns that I see on a regular basis as to how they operate their days, their weeks and their months. And I'm going to share with you some of those habits on today's video, the top 10 of them. So the first thing is that these high performance men have clarity. They have a lot of clarity on where they're going, what they're doing, and who they're spending their time with. And that goes across the board for most of these men. Number two, they take action, meaning they don't hang about on stuff. They don't think, oh, should I not be doing this? Has someone done it before? What will my parents think? What will my family think? What will my friends think? They don't care. They take action on it. And even if it means that they have to do an assessment of the kind of marketplace or what they're about to do, they will do that. But they will do that quickly. They'll get that done and then they'll move on and they'll take action. So these men are action-orientated men. Number three, they review their progress on a regular basis. And what that means is they sit down and they objectively look at how they're doing. They don't get into a kind of woe is me attitude of, oh, I've not done very well, or I'm not doing as well as my friends are, or whatever. They look at themselves objectively and they assess their performance based on usually a number of key targets or checkpoints that they've made, which are going to indicate that they're moving in the kind of right direction. So what they do is they kind of detach emotionally from that process and look at themselves almost like a third person. And that is a key skill. So they're taking a review of their progress on a regular basis. So there is a constant cycle of assess, planning the next step and reviewing it. Assess, planning the next step and then reviewing it once it's done. So there is this constant kind of feedback loop of improvement that is going on all the time. Number four is they seek help from others. High-performing men realise that they can't do this life by themselves. It's impossible for them to do it themselves. So what they do is they seek help from others who are further down the path that they want to follow. So if there's a specific field of play that they want to be successful in, what they do is they seek out people who are already successful in that field of play and then they copy what they are doing. Not in a way that they are actually trying to kind of be a different person to themselves, but they are actually looking to shortcut that improvement. Why spend 10 years trying and failing at something when they can speak to someone who's already accomplished what they want to accomplish and pick up the tips, tricks and hacks that they've used to get to where they are, even down to the things that are worth wasting their time on and the things that aren't. So number four is they seek help from others. Number five, high performance men and dads are aware of their internal dialogue. That's not to say that they don't have difficulty with it at times, but high performance men are aware of their internal dialogue. So they're aware of their internal thoughts. They're aware of their belief systems. They're aware of the things that are constantly holding them back on a regular basis. So because they're aware of it, they develop strategies in order to try and overcome that on a regular basis, to try and overcome the beliefs that they know hold them back on a regular basis. They may even have a coach that's going to help them and try and smash through some of those kind of limiting beliefs. So number five, they're aware of their internal dialogue. They're aware of their own personality and what they may need to do to overcome or work with certain aspects of their personality. Number five is that high performance dads and men, they don't always fit in. They know they don't always fit in. They know they're different to kind of other men and other dads. They know their expectations of life and what they want to achieve are different. And sometimes this causes a little bit of turmoil, but ultimately what they tend to do is they surround themselves with guys that are similar. So if you've ever heard of the experience of round peg trying to fit in a square hole, rather than smashing that round peg into smashing that round peg into a square hole, what these guys do, they get around more round pegs. So if they don't fit in, they get around groups of men that they will fit in. Number 7 is high performance dads and men change things along the way. They're constantly looking for tweaks and little improvements and little refinements. And if that means that they have to alter course in order to do that, or the course they're on is not quite right and they need to course correct, they will do that along the way. And they won't think twice about doing it. Number 8 is that high performance dads and men get up early. They're not hanging about in bed till 8, half 8 in the morning. They get up early, and what they know that they can grab a few early hours of the day in order to get their very best work and routines dialed in, which follows on very nicely onto number 9, which is that high performance guys and dads have dialed in routines. So typically they're getting up earlier. They've got a routine in the morning that they're following. They know that they don't want to waste those early hours of the day, so they get to it with cracking out the most important tasks of the day early, and they have a plan. And lastly, number 10, they get around men of a similar mindset regularly. So they're not hanging out down, they're not hanging out down the pub talking about football all the time, although they may do sometimes. They are surrounding themselves with other men, maybe in mastermind groups or other groups who are also looking to level up and improve their lives and aspects of their lives, maybe either professionally or personally. But they are getting around guys of a similar mindset on a regular basis. So hopefully that helps you. There's 10 aspects of guys who I see on my podcast who are high-performing men and dads, and those are some of the key sort of habits and attributes that they have in common. There are numerous more that I may well go into in further shows that I'm going to do on the High Impact Dad Show, but that kind of gives you a good summary. Now, if you want to find out how you can level up your game in life, you can begin to craft a vision for yourself on which you can take action and start to live a meaningful life. The way to do that is by downloading a copy of my free ebook, which is called the VAM Blueprint. VAM stands for Vision, Action and Meaning. You can grab that over at guildofdads.com/VAM, VAM. And if you want to find out a bit more about the Guild of Dads, you can check us out. We're on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and I have a weekly podcast, which is the Guild of Dads podcast, which you can also check out. Thanks very much, and have a smashing day.